What's up, y'all? Good morning. My name's Ashley. Welcome to my channel. On my channel, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to just be sharing everything that I enjoy with you guys. So today, what I'm going to be sharing with you guys is my garden. Like I said in my first video, I rent, so I can't really wreck my grass because obviously the landlords want there to be good grass when we leave. So I don't have a bunch of in-ground beds or raised beds, but I do have 2 raised beds and a bunch of pots. And then out front, the house has, it started off with a bed and I made it bigger. So all I'm going to be doing is kind of sharing with you what I have, and I might do a little bit of pruning on the tomatoes. I'm going to show you the little bit of vegetables that I have, and that's going to be about it. It's going to be a quick little fun video just showing you my garden. So I'm going to head outside and we'll get started. All right, so I am outside in my backyard. So I'm going to go ahead and flip my camera around and start showing you what I got going on back here. All right. Okay, so this is the first raised bed. What I have in here is pretty much just herbs. To excuse this mason jar here. Okay, so right here, this is rosemary that I bought the plant already going at H-E-B, and it was getting wildly out of control, so I trimmed it back and it hasn't really started growing again, so hoping for the best on that one. When I put this raised bed in the ground last year, I was even less educated than I am now on gardens, and I did not cover the ground, so all of these weeds have started coming through, which is really annoying. It's really hard to pull the entire root out because it's all the way through the bed, all the way through this and into the ground. So okay, so moving on to the next thing. I don't know where my label went for my basil. So these are the basil. They've been kind of struggling. This one keeps falling over for some reason. So anyways, moving on. So this right here, we have parsley. I wish it was coming in faster. I really, really love cooking with parsley, and I want to have lots and lots of it. But that's kind of all I'm getting is these 2 rows. Excuse me, these 2 rows here. And then next we have cilantro. I've already trimmed this back once, and it's coming right back up. It's doing really great. I don't love cilantro. My husband does though, and my sister is obsessed, and I'm actually going to see her next week, and I'm probably going to trim some of this and bring it with. All right. Next, right here, we have some baby lettuce. It can be planted about a 1/2 inch apart, and it's very hard to thin back at this point, so I'm going to give it a little bit of time, and then I'm going to trim it back. And then next we have a full head of lettuce. There, it's a red lettuce, and then over here on the end we have peas. So these are going to end up being whole peas that come out of the pod and you eat, you know, like you would imagine a frozen pea. Okay, now on to the next box here. My wonderful husband put this together. He works in commercial construction, and he was able to find this box here. I don't know what it's originally for, but he decided it would be perfect for a bed. So he brought it home and reassembled it for me, and it's officially my first raised bed, and I love it. Starting over here, these are bean plants. Y'all, I'm so clueless. I would have to go look at the package to tell you what kind of beans. I have 1 single bean growing here. That's the only one I can find in all of this. This white stuff here is diatomaceous earth. I have some stupid little flies in here, and I'm not sure if they're harmful or not. I think you might be able to see them crawling around in there. So I put some diatomaceous earth down to try and get rid of those. Diatomaceous earth is a pesticide, but it's non-toxic and very gentle on plants. All it does to the bugs is dry them out. Okay. Next, I have squeezed in here more peas, but these are snow peas, I believe, or sugar snap peas. I'm not 100% sure, but there are some on here, which is really fun. I think I'm gonna pluck these after I go through the rest, because I am going to be making some teriyaki chicken and shrimp tonight. Excuse the cucumber leaf. And I'm gonna go ahead and put some of these in those, in that. Okay, next is cucumber. This right here is one cucumber plant, and that one right there is the other cucumber plant. There, that might be a little bit of a better angle there. It finally started growing tendrils just last week. It's starting to grab on. There's lots of fun flowers. I'm thinking those might fall off, but I'm not 100% sure. So there is the cucumber. When I originally started this box, I had a squash plant in here, and when I tell you that it took over, it took over. So I had to pull it. It was really healthy, and it even had some blooms on it, but it happened so fast. I really felt pretty comfortable starting over because the next one would happen really fast as well. So instead, I looked up what I could plant in a small space, and that's where I got the idea for baby lettuce. So there is more baby lettuce in there. It's planted very poorly and really bad spacing. I might put some more kind of over in that area there because there's just room for it. And it doesn't need a whole lot of light. It's lettuce. It can't take a whole lot of harsh sun. It'll just make it wilt. Okay, and now the glory of the tomato plants. Right here. So this is the best fruit we have by far. Oh, you can see all these darn little bugs all over the stinking place, and I don't know if they're bad or not, but anyways. Okay, so we got two really great tomatoes going here. Then there are three more right there. That one is really funky looking, and then one more right there. Looks really great. So this plant is actually pretty small. There's one, it's right here, and it stops about there. So it doesn't go very high, but this guy here, man, does he mean business. You can see where he starts. There's his main shoot, and he is just big and bushy. It's been raining a whole lot here. It is spring in Texas, so after the rain, it finally stopped raining yesterday, so I gave it a break. I didn't water the beds because I didn't want to overwater. Now I'm out here this morning having a look-see, and there are so many beautiful blooms. There's lots of new branches. Not a whole lot of flowers, which is kind of disappointing. I was hoping to see some fruit on this one, but I'm thinking I might need to train it to go upwards a little bit more, like this. Get it going up instead of a big bushy thing, and then do some trimming. So there is that bed. And all of this wire, I'm sure you can tell I did it myself. I used, I believe this is supposed to be like pet fencing. I thought it was cable wire. It's not. So I used that for the tomato and to help the peas and the cucumbers vine. I know that some of these things don't have enough spacing, but I'm new at this. I have no idea what I'm doing. It's the whole point of this channel. These are things that I like doing, but I'm not necessarily good at. So I didn't explain this in the beginning. There's string. So as these grow, I'll be wrapping it around the string to help it stand up tall. All right, now I'm going to be moving on to all of my pots here. Ignore my backyard. Holy moly, it's a mess. Okay, so first up is these two pepper plants here. So this one here is a New Mexico Big Jim. My husband, like I said, is from New Mexico, and we found it at Lowe's. We were very excited. I think when I first planted these, I had the spacing very wrong, and the watering was very wrong. So they're not doing great, which kind of is really disappointing, because peppers, again, husband from New Mexico, and peppers are like the thing in New Mexico, and I haven't gotten one single darn pepper out of these guys yet this year. So this one's getting pretty tall, but the leaves just look terrible, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong for the life of me. But anyways, moving on, right here I'm starting a little baby jalapeno. It finally has a little seedling. That must have popped up just yesterday, so I'm hoping that this does really well. I tried to start some seedlings in little cups, but they didn't do well when I transferred them, and I think I was trying to crowd them too much, so I decided that I'm just going to give it the space that it really wants, and it's going to get this whole pot to itself. Next, here is the new squash that I started. I told you I had to pull it out of that box there, so I started it over. And here we are. Oh my goodness gracious, I didn't see this until right now. Look at that giant chunk out of this leaf. Oh my gosh. What in the world? How frustrating. I don't know what is going on here. I know there's lots of bugs at springtime, but oh, you can see those dang darn flies again. Oh, there's one. Anyways, next. Here we are to the next pepper plant. You can see it is in Anaheim. It's this really cute grow bag. I'm hoping it's gonna do well in. So this one's still pretty short. It's pretty new. It looks fairly healthy. Again, what in the heck? There's big chunks missing out of these leaves. I'm gonna figure out what's going on there. There is one tiny itty bitty baby fruit right there. Ooh, cute, 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 cute. Okay, next box. Okay, right here is another herb box. Again, we cook a lot with parsley and cilantro, so we got more going here. So this box has really been through it. It got flooded because the drain holes on the bottom were like plugged up, and we didn't take the plugs out when we bought it. So it flooded. My husband had to drill holes in it, and I was like, you drilled through the plants? But here they are. They're coming along. So we have parsley and cilantro and a little basil plant that's doing really pretty well. It's very tiny and cute. I love it. And on to the last two pots out back. Here we go. These are the two strawberry plants. Now what I've learned about strawberries is the first year that you have them, you're not going to get a whole lot of like really good fruit. But they're pretty slow moving. They don't bunch up a lot. When I say bunch up, I mean they don't have a lot of leaves. They don't get really big. But there is some fruit in here, which is really fun. I don't have any offshoots going yet, so I can propagate them or anything. So this one is pretty good, and this one is even bushier and better. And this one has some fruit as well. Again, super fun. I decided to try and grow strawberries. Oh, yucky. That's pretty gross. Get rid of that. So I decided to grow strawberries because my son loves them, and they are expensive. So if I can grow them myself, you better believe I'm gonna. Okay, next we are gonna move out to that front garden with all of the flowers. Welcome to the front craziness. So what this garden was meant to be, this is so ugly, but do you remember in my first video how I said water pours down? Yeah, that's where it goes. So we were trying to stop the flooding by doing that. It's ugly, but it kind of works. So anyways, so this front garden, what I did, I took a bunch of flower seeds, including a wildflower seed mix, and I just chucked them in here. But the problem is, the way I created this, the original bed is back there, which also looks crazy. But how I created this, took a shovel and I dug up the grass, which means I have no idea what's flowers, I have no idea what's weeds, I have no idea what's grass. But I do have a plant identifying app, and what I plan on doing one of my son's nap times, not 100% sure when, is I'm going to go out here, I'm going to get to scanning, find out what's a weed, what's not desirable, what's just going to be causing more harm than good, because I really want these beautiful things. This is what I want. They're so stunning. Stunning. Absolutely beautiful. And I don't really want this. Because, like, sure, it's a flower, but also meh. Now, last year, moving on to this part, this original part of the garden, I did put flowers here. As you can see, I put some marigolds here. And those plants right there are tomato plants. Last year I had tomatoes here. I didn't really get anything out of them because it was my very first year and I was very, very bad at it. So these here are the seeds, basically, or the leftovers from those plantings. And my husband wanted to just keep it. My son's banging on the window in there. So my husband wanted to keep them and just see if we can get some fun Roma tomatoes out of it. But I don't know. I'm kind of thinking I might put potatoes up here because they're pretty easy. And Texas clay soil is pretty rough, but I think potatoes would do well. And I'm not really getting a lot of flowers. Right here is really low light. The sun doesn't get over here till pretty late in the afternoon. So again, I think potatoes would do great. So this front garden, again, it's supposed to be all flowers, but it's a pretty big mess. Alright, so that's it for today's video, guys. I think next time in the garden I'm going to go out front and use my plant identifier scanning app and scan as many of those plants and flowers as I can and decide what I want to keep, what I don't want to keep, because basically the definition of a weed is an unwanted plant, and I don't know, maybe I'll want some of those weeds. So anyways, I also just want to remind you guys that everything that I do on my channel is pretty much just going to be stuff that I enjoy, not stuff that I am good at or have good knowledge about. So gardening, I'm pretty much clueless. This is my second year of growing any type of vegetable, and the first year we started like in fall, so we barely even got anything going last year. So I'm clueless. I don't know what I'm doing. Don't listen to me. If you want good gardening advice, there are good YouTube channels for that. I'm just here sharing what I love with you guys. So just keep that in mind with all of my videos. It's been great spending time with you in my garden, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.